Well, look, the crucial thing at the moment on climate change as a global issue is really the relationship between Europe and China. I mean, also, I think to a degree, India and Brazil, but I would attach a whole very high importance to Europe and China. The simple fact is that the US has decided that it's not interested in climate change. Indeed, if anything, it is deliberately trying to undermine other people's efforts to pursue climate change action, which we saw last week in America deliberately encouraging a delay in the IMO debates about carbon pricing. So, in that environment, what the EU and China does on climate is very important. And I think we have to find a way to work together as best possible, work together to encourage each other to set stretching climate targets in a sort of if I'll do this, you'll do that type negotiation. And I don't think that's going perfectly at the moment, but we need to try and get that dynamic going. And then I think we also need Europe to develop a nuanced point of view towards China's dominance of the clean technologies. Europe is not going to be willing to rely on China for all its solar panels, all its EVs, all its batteries, all its everything. On the other hand, it shouldn't be flipping into a deeply protectionist mode. And there are a set of intermediate policies possible, which include encouraging Chinese investment into Europe. But there needs to be an engagement on those trade issues. And then a third thing that there needs to be between Europe and China in particular is helping to unleash the flows of finance through, for instance, all the different development banks that there are, whether they be the EBRD, the Africa Development Bank, the Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank, to make sure that lower income developing countries are able to seize the possibility, the potential which has been created by the collapsing price of key technologies such as solar and batteries. I think, for instance, that Africa is now looking at an enormous opportunity to rapidly develop electricity systems in an entirely green, zero carbon fashion right from the beginning. Could be hugely beneficial to economic development, but it depends on flows of capital from outside because the African savings rate is not sufficient for it to drive all the investment that it needs for itself. So I think there are a variety of ways in which Europe and China, in particular, need to be, as best possible in this rather troubled world, working together on these issues of climate change.